Welcome to Global Money Moves. Today's biggest global money story is the Greenland crisis. Trump's push to take control of Greenland has triggered a showdown with Europe, a frozen trade deal, and record highs in gold and silver. First, what just happened? At Davos, President Trump again said that a US takeover of Greenland would be good for global security and urged Europeans to promptly negotiate a sale. He has threatened 10% tariffs from February 1st on exports from several European countries, including Denmark, France, the Netherlands, Finland, and others, rising to 25% by June if they keep blocking the deal. Trump argues Denmark cannot protect Greenland from Russia and China, and that only full US control secures the Arctic. How did Europe and Greenland respond? European leaders have called the tariff threat unacceptable and warned it risks a dangerous downward spiral in transatlantic relations. The European Parliament's Trade Committee has now suspended work on the US-EU trade deal that would have capped most tariffs, saying cooperation is impossible while Greenland and Denmark's sovereignty is under pressure. Ursula von der Leyen and senior EU officials are promising a quick retaliation if Trump actually imposes the 10% tariffs, including possible counter-tariffs on over $100 billion of US goods. Denmark and other NATO countries have sent small military contingents to Greenland to show support and deter any escalation. Greenland's Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen has publicly said, "We will not be pressured," thanked European governments for their unity, and highlighted protests in Greenland and Denmark defending the island's right to choose its future. He insists this is not just about territory but about sovereignty and climate strategic Arctic routes. Now, how is this hitting markets? The Greenland standoff has poured fuel on an already strong precious metals rally. Gold has surged above $4,700 an ounce, with some intraday moves closer to $4,750, $4,900, while silver has broken above $90-$95, both at or near record highs. Analysts say the combination of US-Europe tariff risk, questions around central banks, and fears of geoeconomic conflict is pushing investors into safe haven assets. Safe haven flows mean strong demand for gold and silver ETFs and physical metals, pressure on risk assets whenever tariff rhetoric heats up, higher volatility in currencies tied to Europe and the US. The EU's suspension of the trade deal adds another layer. Sectors exposed to transatlantic trade, autos, industrials, luxury, agriculture, are under pressure as investors price in the risk of a tariff tit for tat. What are world leaders saying? European leaders are stressing that among allies, challenges are best solved by dialogue, not coercion, and repeat that they stand with Denmark and Greenland on territorial integrity. EU economy officials have warned that Trump's 10%, 25% tariff plan is incompatible with the existing trade agreement framework and threatens the entire transatlantic economic relationship. Trump, meanwhile, is telling supporters that previous US presidents subsidized Europe by not using tariffs and that he will now use them to force a good deal over Greenland, while still saying he won't use force if Europe cooperates. So what does this mean for investors and for countries like India? For global portfolios, the Greenland crisis is now a geoeconomic risk event driving flows into gold, silver, and possibly defensive sectors. For exporters, especially in Europe and the US, any tariff spiral could hit earnings and valuations. For India and other emerging markets, this adds another external shock on top of existing trade and rate worries, but also boosts the value of gold holdings and may shift some capital flows toward relatively stable, fast-growing economies. This channel's goal is to keep these big geopolitical moves connected to the money impact in simple language. The Greenland story is no longer a meme. It is a serious tariff threat, a sovereignty clash, and a driver of record metal prices. If you found this breakdown useful, hit like and subscribe to Global Money Moves for daily global news, markets, and geopolitics explained. This video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice.